Well, as the town week draws to a close, shall we say, I'm not going to keep this video long because there hasn't really been a lot that has gone on over the last week in Grimsby Town, but I'll take you through a couple of the things that have happened and a couple of things that I've spotted that needs to really be improved, I think. And I think a lot of fans will know where I'm going to go with that. I'm not really going to read any major announcements because, like I said, nothing major has happened. But a couple of things that I will bring up has happened this week. Nothing necessarily substantial, but what we will start with is obviously the shirts. The shirts came out, and it looks a lovely shirt. The old style of sort of 1998 style, which I think is it's a throwback really from close to the time that I was really getting into town at the time. I actually was a fan before that, but the 98 season was the season where I think we all started to take notice. I was 11. I may be giving my age away, but as to that, and the strip is such a good strip, such a throwback, and as of recording this, the home strip does go on sale over this coming weekend, as of tomorrow morning and Sunday morning. So you will be able to go and pick up your Grimsby Town shirt, home shirt, for the next season. So that was good. That video dropped around about Tuesday night, going into Wednesday, and a cracking shirt, and also using Grimsby Born and Proud in that video. And it was great to see David Artell at the end saying they switched all the lights on. I think that was a great touch by the gaffer as well in that video. So new shirts, they go on sale, like I said, as of recording this, as of tomorrow morning. So Saturday and Sunday, they'll be available obviously throughout Father's Day. Another little bit of news that came out right at the beginning of the week was that the Black Road Group will continue to sponsor the sleeve of the shirt for Grimsby Town for this upcoming season, and it's great to see another local business and a regular local business keep in touch with its roots. I'll just read you something that the head of business development said. Mr. Lewis Crowther said, "We are proud to continue our sleeve sponsorship with the club that means a great deal to us, but professionally and personally. Our ongoing support of Grimsby Town is more than just a sponsorship. It's a reflection of our long-standing commitment to investing in the community we're proud to call home." And again, it's great to see that the Black Road Group have continued their sleeve sponsorship for the upcoming campaign. And also good news for the ladies first team, for the women's first team. They have now we have now hired a first team coach for the women's team for the upcoming season, And Grimsby announced this by saying, Grimsby Town Football Club are delighted to announce Ben Thomas as our new women's first team head coach. Thomas, who takes over from former coach Ben Challen, previously held the position of assistant head coach as the team finished third in the East Midlands Region's Women Division 1 North. That's a mouthful. Last season. Previously, Ben held positions at both Lincoln United as well as managing the RAF women's team during his time in the force. On becoming the head coach, Thomas said, I'm really proud to be in the role and represent Grimsby Town Women. It's an exciting time to be at the club, with the team going in the right direction, and I'm aiming to help push the squad to achieve as much as we can. I'm looking forward to getting on the grass and getting to work. Congratulations, Ben, and the season I will try to be covering the ladies a little bit more in my videos this season as well. I'm even going to try and get to a few of the ladies' games to watch them play. Not every time, but sporadically throughout the season. I'm going to try and get to a few ladies' games as well and do a little bit of a review on that. So welcome to Ben, and hopefully he has a very good stint while with the Mariners. And last one I mentioned is obviously to follow Pete Rose is also supports Young Mariners with some sort of junior shorts. Obviously he is sponsoring this season's home shorts. So thank you to Pete. That's a great thing that another local guy has put his business and is sponsoring a part of the kit. So you'll be seeing Pete and his company's logo on the shorts for this season. So a lot of great local business interests being put into the club this season, which is great to see. Apologies, this video isn't going to be much longer than this. Like I say, it has been quite a quiet week for the Mariners, really. Obviously, we did have the energy confirmed, but I have seen a bit of people having a bit of unrest about the timing of announcements and things else. I do think it needs to be picked up a bit, because I do think it's a bit slack, to say the least. The promotional video for the shirts came out on Tuesday. It was Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe it was Tuesday, with the My Energy logo already. What I did notice as of recording this today was the announcement that My Energy would be the logo, the front of the shirt logo. Why 2 days after you release the video does that announcement then come out? Because obviously that should have come out, I believe, the week before. Because for it to come out after you've actually released the promotional video, the announcement shouldn't have been 2 days afterwards. Whoever's, the communications have not been great. Whoever does the communications this summer so far. You've had, you've had things come out before announcements are made, so nothing's confirmed, and then you're getting this. And just tonight I realised with the My Energy one, well, you'd already gave that away, because the video, obviously promotion of the shirts was already out. So did it actually made the announcement? That's partly why I'm not reading it, because it didn't need to be put out, because it was obviously obvious that obviously My Energy, and it's great to still have My Energy as the main shirt sponsor. But to release that today as we speak, but release the video with the logo 48 hours to 72 hours, so between 72 and 48 hours before the announcement, that isn't great. That is not great, and that needs to be called out, really, because that isn't good. Because you know, announcements need to be made either on the day that you're dropping that, or at least before anything is confirmed. So, you know, communications need to be improved on when things are being put out, because that to me makes that announcement, well, it makes it redundant, because it was already out in the video. That should have come out. The announcement to me should have come out before the video confirmed. Why it wasn't, I have no idea. And I think that's where the communication needs to improve, or the communication department needs to improve, because you need to be having everything in line. So, Town are about ready to announce something, and rather than leaving it 2 or 3 days after fans have found something out, it needs to come out and be ready to go. I feel like that announcement had to have been there back in the last week, but it's only just come out 2 days after the video came out, which already confirmed, without confirming, the My Energy sponsorship. So I think communications need to be improved, and you know, it needs to be said. That needs to, because things are being told before the club have announced them. Things have been put out sometimes. So, and that's one of the big ones. You know, we already guessed that My Energy was the shirt sponsor. We already guessed that by the video. That should have been out before the video came out. So, you know, that's like, you know, there needs to be improvement there before anything is shown. Like in this case, that should have come out before the video came out. So that needs to be improved. And, you know, there's always room for improvement. But over the summer, I've seen in the last week or so fans be a bit critical of that, and I could understand it, because I've seen a couple of faults in the last couple of weeks with that. But overall, it's great to have My Energy still as the main shirt sponsor. But yeah, the way it's coming out, I'm going to use the term arse backwards. You're kind of announcing it after it's already been shown. So you may, which makes the announcement a little bit time travelled, shall we say. That should have come out before the video was released about the shirts. At least that's my opinion, and I stand by it. It should have come out before, the announcement should have come out before the shirt teasers and before things like that, not after the video where it was already shown. Why has that then come out 2 or 3 days later? Because obviously it'd already been agreed upon. It just wasn't put out. But it's them fans are sort of aware of it, and you know, it seems to be a little bit behind with announcements, I think, which, like I said, needs to improve. You know, the timing has to be better than that, because when I watched that, and then I thought, how do I do the video mentioning that? And I'm thinking, well, it was already on the video, the promotional video for the kit. So it kind of makes the announcement I don't say, well, yeah, really unimportant, because you're basically giving it away before you've announced it. So, you know, so there are a couple of things that need to be, I feel, needs to be better. More, the communication needs to be more on point rather than 2 or 3 days after something, because otherwise you're going to be, fans are just going to be starting to get more and more agitated because stuff's already out, and then you're announcing something else that's probably 2 or 3 days after it should have been, or before it should have been. That, for example, the My Energy thing should have come out a couple of days before the video to confirm that My Energy was, and then whatever. So a few things to obviously work on with the communication. Hopefully it is just a blip, but it has to be called out. I think that the timing of the announcement was a bit off, when I think fans already could tell that My Energy had obviously continued the shirt sponsorship before the announcement was made. So, like I said, a slow news week. I know a lot of fans as well. Just before I sign off, but like I said, the communication, I think, slightly needs to be sharper. Needs to be more sort of in time with when things are coming out, not 2 or 3 days after the fact, or where fans have been able to get something official like the video was, and then the announcement comes out 2 days afterwards. It's that needs to be just sharpened up, and it really does. But I know it's been a quiet week for Grimsby fans. I know it has. I've also seen a lot of unrest, that no signings this week. That is something, just before I finish, that I don't have an issue with, because to me that kind of tells me that next week could be busy, because it's been so quiet, really. We've had these little bits of news, and like I said, about the women's merger, and obviously the video for the shirts and things like that. Some fans aren't really going to take a major interest in. Obviously, at this time of year, most of the fans were focused on who we're bringing in, rather than, and who's playing in the shirts, in a way, more than the shirts. But I do think Grimsby are possibly playing this right, because to some fans, I've seen the frustration of, are they, they might not be doing anything. I think they are. And I can see a few signings coming in next week. I don't know anything. I'm not privy to anything. But I have a feeling next week, because obviously the lads are back in 2 weeks' time, aren't they? And with them being back in 2 weeks' time, I can't see David would just be happy with only one signing through the door before pre-season. But this week has been, apart from the shirts really, has been a very, very quiet week. Normally that means quite a busy week the week after. The transfer window does officially open permanently, shall we say, for the summer on Monday. So I'd expect maybe 3 or 4 faces to come through the door, and obviously we'll probably hopefully get some announcements about Denver Hume and the rumour about George McEachran. We might get glimpses on that, I don't know. But I do see 2 or 3 incomings next week, due to it being the week before the start of pre-season. So I think things will ramp up from Monday. I'm pretty certain. Like I said, I don't know anything directly. I don't know anything, but I do see it sort of being ramped up next week, where Grimsby may bring in 3 or 4. It would not surprise me. So keep your eyes peeled. If I hear anything or see any new transfers, things like that, I will keep you up to date with that. Let me know what you think about the new shirts. Are you buying them? Are you getting them over the weekend? Are you waiting for them? I believe they're around about £54 for that. Season ticket holders, you can get it for £44 with obviously the £10 voucher. Will you be getting the home shirts this season? I will. Leave your comments down below for me about what you think about this weekend. Are you like me about the communications? Could they do with sharpening up a little bit more than what they are? And also, what do you think about transfers at the minute? Do you think, like me, there will be more movement, I think, come this week? But I like the fact, which is a strange positive, but I like the fact how quiet Grimsby have been. Some fans seem to think when clubs do that, there's nothing to say. But actually, I am certain, well, I almost know for certain, that everyone will be working behind the scenes hard on trying to get some deals done. Some may have already been done, or maybe right on the verge of being done. I can't see us going into pre-season with only one new face. I really can't just see that. If it's like this time next week, I would understand why a lot of fans will be up in arms. But I think next week could be quite a busy week, at least I believe, in the recruitment side for Grimsby Town. But leave me your comments down below on this video and your thoughts on the things we touched on, the women's manager, what you feel about how the communication is right now between announcements and things like that. How do you fans feel about them? I think they just need to be better. So leave your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Leave me everything you want. Share. Hit that bell button. That'll let you know when I upload the content, when we do get some players through the door. And I'm almost certain we will next week. There's an topic about this. One final time, I think the communications need to improve, because you cannot be having things like the video and then the shirt announcement comes out after that. It should be the other way around. So there needs to be an improvement there. And with things with Joe leaving the club, which was finally announced by the club this week. Well, people knew about that few days before Grimsby even announced it, with obviously his job role being posted. So it's, communication needs to be more on time with announcements. It's good doing them, but after the fact, the fans already know, Or with that one, they could put 2 and 2 together. With the shirt one, we already knew by seeing the video that My Energy was the shirt sponsor for this year as well. So communication needs to be better in the communications. But let me know your thoughts down below. Like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that bell button, and I will see you next week, as I'm sure the transfer business will start sharpening up for Grimsby, as we are literally close to 1 week away from pre-season. So I will see you guys in a couple of videos next week. If not much does happen, we'll do a video similar to this next week as well. But in the meantime, guys, up the Mariners. I hope you guys are having a great summer and enjoying your summer break. And let's see what happens next week in regards to incomings. Up the Mariners. I'll see you soon. Ta-da.